Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com. A quick news update for you guys on how successful Black Widow's been already. But before we get into any of that, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Last week, Disney released Black Widow simultaneously on Disney Plus Premier Access and in cinemas, and it has been a massive success. Disney have actually officially revealed the details of the box office numbers, but also for the very first time included Disney Plus Premier Access details in that. According to the press release from Disney Plus, they pulled in an estimated total of over $215 million globally this weekend, which includes $80 million at the domestic box office in the United States, $78 million at the international box office, and over $60 million on Disney Plus Premier Access globally. This means that Black Widow is the largest domestic box office opening since the pandemic began, and is the largest domestic box office opening weekend since Star Wars Episode 9: The Rise of Skywalker back in December of 2019. According to Disney, in the US alone, it means that Black Widow pulled in over $100 million at the box office between Disney Plus Premier Access and also cinemas. Now this is a massive thing really, because it's the biggest movie we've seen at the box office in pretty much nearly 18 months, and obviously just beat Fast and Furious. The only reason they've been slightly ahead was because they had a very long tail of being released in China, which Black Widow hasn't been released in, and puts it as a very good place overall in terms of a Marvel movie. Now, it's nowhere near the same level as Avengers, but it's pretty high. It's done better than some movies pre-pandemic, and just as a whole, the main thing I think I want to look at here is how successful it's been on Disney Plus Premier Access. Over $60 million US, and that's just within 3 days. You know, there's going to be a lot more people buying it maybe in the next week or so ahead. But that means probably at $30 a pop, around about 2 million people have purchased Black Widow. Now you say 2 million, that then can expand out to a lot more people, because, you know, 2 to 4 to 5 to 6 people might be watching that one account. Now you got to think with Disney Plus Premier Access that this is for people that decided to watch it from home. They didn't feel safe going to cinema. Maybe if they're family as well, they kind of, you know, don't want to have all the hassle of going, parking, and all the rest of it that comes with it. The success of Disney Plus Premier Access for Black Widow could indicate some future changes, what they want to do, especially with Jungle Cruise coming out later this month. You know, they've now got a lot of data from a number of different movies. You know, we saw Mulan last year, and this year already we've seen Cruella and Raya and The Last Dragon. They're starting to see how this works. It does show that Disney Plus Premier Access does bring in an extra amount of revenue. The important thing as well is, while that's $60 million US for Disney Plus Premier Access, Disney Plus gets the majority of that money. Unlike at the cinema and the box office, where they have to kind of give some money back to theatres and stuff, most of the money that goes through Disney Plus Premier Access they get to keep. So it's actually much more profitable to sell it through there than maybe going through cinemas. Now, I think the fact that they were officially announced this, they've never done this with the previous movies, says that they're happy with it. And it also just boosts up Black Widow, so it wasn't deemed as a flop or a bit soft in terms of the box office. Considering the movies we've had over the last 18 months, this is a big success. Shows why pushing it back helped, but also at a certain point Disney had to kind of start releasing stuff. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Shang-Chi does better, because at the minute, that is still set to be just released in cinemas. I could see it changing. You know, Disney might change their mind on that movie and end up releasing it on Disney Plus Premier Access, but they might not announce that till closer to it. But it wouldn't surprise me if they change their mind, but also they do want to kind of get back to how it was. But even Bob Chapek has previously said he wants consumers to have the choice, and people won't wait the same amount of time. So, could Premier Access become something that we see more often? The fact that Black Widow has been a big success is obviously a great thing, but we're going to have to wait and see. It looks like we've got another one test to go with Jungle Cruise before we see how this keeps rolling along. I personally would like to see it continue. I did purchase Black Widow myself on Disney Plus Premier Access, because a few of us have been able to watch it, and then just in the whole, just much more nicer to be able to watch it from home, not have to worry about wearing a mask, not have to worry about unvaccinated children, etc. So there's all that kind of extra hassle. Some areas still in the world aren't open, so it's all part of it. But yeah, big thing, but definitely a big success for Black Widow and big success for Disney Plus. But let me know in the comments below how you watched Black Widow over the weekend. Thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow and subscribe. Also a huge thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and also on our YouTube channel memberships. And I shall see you guys in another video. Laters.